Howdy guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Makayla, and in today's video, we are going to be reading the original Hunger Games trilogy. I grew up absolutely loving these movies, and I have vivid memories of going and seeing them in theaters when they first came out, so I'm so excited to finally read the books that coincide with these movies. And a little preface, I will be doing spoilers and talking about the plot of the books / movies, so if you don't want those, click off the video now. You aren't going to hurt my feelings, but we're going to go full in depth and talk about it. We're going to stop wasting time. We're going to jump right into it. First update. I am a little over 100 pages into the Hunger Games, and one thing I would like to say, I feel like the movies did an amazing job of their adaptation of the book. Everything has been very similar, and as I'm reading, I'm picturing the scenes in the movies, and from my memory, I was like, these are so good. Like, they did so good adapting it. Some of the differences from the movie to the book that I've been noticing: one, I forgot like how young Katniss is supposed to be, because Jennifer Lawrence in the movie, I feel like she aged that character. I think she was an amazing actress for that role, but for me, like, I forgot that she's supposed to be 16 in the movies, and I think it really, as you get more of her like inner monologues and thoughts in the book, because you're actually hearing her thoughts in the book, you see more of that like 16-year-old thought process, and I am really enjoying that in the book. I think that's something, obviously you can't really do that in a movie, it's an actress playing the character, but I'm really enjoying hearing Katniss's thoughts, and I'm having such a great time. I just finished the scene where she like shot the arrow through the apple in the pig's mouth to like the gamekeeper. So classic scene, and I feel like they followed it like to a T. It was so good. But I'm having a great time. I didn't read that much today, but I'm probably gonna read more in bed before I go to sleep. But this is amazing. I am so glad that I'm finally reading this. We just got hit with the famous "because she came here with me" line. And now we're at the games. So sad how that forget. Okay, I officially finished The Hunger Games, the first book in this series. Overall thoughts, I really enjoyed it. I love dystopian, and I think it's just so fun going back and reading some of the like classic dystopian books. So overall, I thought the movies did a really good job like adaptation to the books, and overall I liked the books better. I think that's a common trend for me. I always tend to like books better, mainly because we got Katniss's inner monologue throughout the whole thing, like her thoughts, her feelings, and I really enjoyed that so much more than I thought that I would. And I felt like her thoughts really helped us understand like her relationship with Peeta throughout the book, because in the movie, like, it's hard to tell, like, she's very closed off, and then all of a sudden you can kind of see she starts caring for him. You get more of her like thoughts and feelings in this, and I really enjoyed that. I definitely felt like the violence wasn't really bad. Like, I definitely felt like the movie, because you actually physically saw it, it was more gruesome, other than Cato's death. His death was a lot more gruesome in the book because it lasted for like hours on hours, and he was like suffering. So that was the only one that was much more gruesome in the book, whereas in the movie, like, you actually saw the scene, so I felt like that's why they felt more gruesome. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I don't know what I want to rate it. I'm thinking 4.5. I'm thinking 4.5, but I'm really excited to pick up the second book, because obviously the end is so sad, because it's Katniss like admitting to Peeta that she was doing what she had to do in the games, and she doesn't know what her real feelings for him are, and that's really sad. But overall, I loved it. I also loved the tidbit about Peeta was like a slightly higher not rank than her, but he has more money in District 12 than like she does. So like that's kind of like something that sets them apart. And then Peeta's dad actually loved Katniss's mom when they were younger, which I thought that was an interesting thing. And I really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend everyone to read the book. It was so good. I loved it. And now I am going to start Catching Fire because I just want to keep reading the series. So let's go. Back for what I believe is my first talking update of Catching Fire. I don't think I've talked while I've been reading. I'm currently on page 139. It is part 2 of The Quell, which the whole first 140 pages, we haven't even had the Quarter Quell like drawing where they know they're going back to the games, which I think is really crazy. It's been a lot of build up, but I've been really enjoying it. And like I said, we see just a lot more of Katniss's thoughts and what she's going through, where she loves Gale, but she also like has this connection with Peeta, and President Snow like wants her to force that relationship with Peeta and convince them to like stop the uprisings. And I think that's super, super interesting. And then one thing, I don't really remember it from the movies, but it was the fact of like Katniss wanting to like run away and like really planning on it. And then also her wanting to incite a revolution. I thought that was super interesting. I can't remember if in the movies it followed that same timeline, but I'm really enjoying that part because we see more of her nature, of her actually wanting to take a stand, where I think it's really good and I'm really enjoying it. I think the movies did such a great job adapting from the books, where most of the things like big picture are in the movies, and I think that is so amazing. I love movies that do books right, and I'm really enjoying this. I'm super excited to finally like get into the Quarter Quell games, which obviously is going to be the rest of this book, because we've just been like building up to it and I know it's coming. Also, I feel like I forgot to mention, in like Hunger Games, Peeta loses his leg, which is different from in like the movie, and I think that's super interesting because we see more of like how it's affecting him as well as like his mark from the games. But I also find it interesting, like during the games, Katniss lost hearing in her left ear, but then after the games, they like cleared her completely of like all of her injuries and like clean skin, like all of her previous scars from even before she went into the game. So I thought that was super interesting, because we see like Peeta with this lasting injury that he can't escape from because he quite literally doesn't have his leg anymore. But Katniss kind of comes out unscathed, but I feel like we see more of the mental turmoil in Katniss, whereas Peeta, we see more of that physical turmoil, if that makes any sense. Anyways, I'm really enjoying it. We're gonna keep reading. I started my full-time job this week, so I haven't been able to read as much, so I've been slowing down, but I'm still trying to get through because, like I said, I am enjoying it. I'm gonna stop saying I enjoy it, and we're actually gonna get to reading. Okay, bye. My dryer in the background, but it has been quite a while since I've updated for this video, and since I last filmed, I did finish Catching Fire. It was amazing. I think especially Catching Fire was such a great book to movie adaptation, and I really wish I would have read the books before seeing the movies, because the characters, I just imagine them as the movie characters, and I wish I could have like envisioned my own characters beforehand, but that is way in the past. Anyways, so I started Mockingjay, and I'm going to talk about some stuff here, and I'm not trying to be controversial. I think everyone is entitled to their own opinions, but I am going to talk about some stuff. So when I started reading Mockingjay, if you have ever read these, you know, it starts off with the districts had kind of uprisen against the Capitol, and the Capitol sort of like bombing them and sending in peacekeepers and everything like that. And when I was reading that, it was at the same time that the unrest in California was happening and the people protesting ICE and deportation and the government and Trump threatening to send in like military against the people and like initiating the National Guard against them and everything. And it just felt so real in the sense of like, yeah, this is a dystopian book, but it had so many parallels to what was happening in the real world where I just had to put it down for a little bit because it was making me so upset and really sad. And I do not agree with the phrase that reading is not political. I think you can be ignorant and choose to ignore the politics that occur in books, but reading has been and always will be political. Books talk about themes that are political. That is why in school we read so many of these books. Animal Farm, 1984, like all of these books, because they're discourse on society hidden behind a fictional story. And yeah, anyways, it just made me very sad of some of the stuff that was happening in the nation, and I had to pause for a little while because mentally I couldn't handle it. But it has been about like a week since a lot of that stuff happened, and I decided I wanted to pick Mockingjay back up because I am so excited to read it. I am loving the book so far, and I feel like this is going to be such a good just wrap up to the main trilogy. So we are here. I am currently on page 28, so I'm not far in at all, but I do want to try to finish this. I also started working full time since I have started filming this video, so I have a lot less time to read, but I am reading as much as I can. And yeah, anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping for now, and we're gonna get back to reading Mockingjay. Katniss just delivered the line, "I'm going to be the Mockingjay." Finished the Hunger Games trilogy. So I just finished Mockingjay quite literally like 2 minutes ago, and I just want to get all my thoughts out now because I don't want to forget anything that I have been thinking about. But overall, I'm really glad that I read this series. I feel like this is just one of those series that everyone has read at some point in their life and I had not. So I'm really glad that I finally did read it, and I 100% think the books are better than the movies, and I wish I would have read the books before seeing the movies because, like I said earlier, I couldn't help but just think about like the movie characters when I was reading about the characters in the book, and I wish I could have like kind of created my own thoughts and opinions on them. But overall, I think some of the big differences and one of the main things that I really enjoyed in the book was just you really realize how young these characters are, especially Katniss. Like, she's 16, 17 throughout the entirety of the series, whereas I feel like in the movie she definitely feels a lot older just because Jennifer Lawrence felt like a much older actor. And I really enjoyed it because you see a lot more of her motivations and like her actions where she's just a kid. Like, she's so unsure of everything. She's been thrown in this, and I just loved it. I think everyone should read these at one point in time, and I had such a great time. I think this is, I don't even know what I'm going to rate these. I'm honestly thinking like 4 or 4.5 for all of them. I really enjoyed myself. They're not like top tier, god tier books for me, but I did really enjoy them. And yeah, I am kind of sad that I'm done reading these books because I have been strictly reading these for a while, but I'm having a good time, and I, again, am so glad that I finally read them. If you have any more recommendations of like classic kind of books that everyone read when they were younger, comment them down below, and maybe I haven't read them and I'll do another version of this series and read other series that I should read. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!